everybody for coming. I'm glad you guys are all here. We knew the snow was going to kind of limit our turnout a little bit, but we're still really happy with this. We're very excited to get to work with Jeff and Francie like this. You may notice somebody over to my left here. He came all the way down from Madison, Wisconsin today. His name is Glenn. If you were at our Halloween party and in-house competition, you might remember him. He brought the meatloaf that everybody ate before I could get over there to eat it.
It was delicious.
It was awesome. He brought more today.
Yay.
Glenn's a good friend of mine. We actually met at a USA weightlifting certification, and I overheard him talking about how his company ships grass-fed beef and paleo products and just super high-quality meats right to your door. And we hit it off and started talking about his business and about the food industry in general. And now my wife utilizes his services in every way possible, and I invite him down every time we're doing an event, mostly because I want him to lift with me and coach me afterwards. But before we bring up Jeff and Francie, I want to bring up my buddy Glenn to talk a little bit about why he's here and what he does.
Thanks, Matt. So, yeah. So the company I run is Bos Creek. I encourage all of you to look it up. That's really not why I'm here today. So I heard about Jeff and Francie, and I was just amazed. I'm a CrossFit coach as well as running this startup. And people like you two are the reason that we get into coaching. Those transformations that people go through, and it's just inspiring to see, it's motivating to hear, and it really feeds itself forward. So I was thinking about it, and I was kind of trying to pinpoint the 3 reasons that people like you make those transformations. And the reasons I thought of, and please feel free to correct me, but I hope they're pretty close, are motivation and dedication. You guys probably really believed in what you were doing, and I'm sure all of you can look back and think about any big change you've made, and you really wanted to make it happen. The second thing is support. Supporting yourself, support from your friends like this CrossFit gym, and support from your family. Without any of those things, I just don't think it's possible for you to succeed. And the third thing is a plan. And the reason I think a plan is important is I get reminded of a Lewis Carroll quote. I'm going to paraphrase it here. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Right? A plan gives you an end, and it gives you the steps to get to that end. So a plan in this sort of scenario, or a situation where you're trying to lose weight or create lifestyle changes, is usually one of 2 things. It's a program, a weightlifting program, and for all you guys here, you have Matt who does your programming, or I'm sure you guys had coaches who brought you through, they told you what you were going to do any day, you didn't have to think about it. And the second thing is like a diet. You know, we call it a diet, but really it's a plan for how you should eat and live your life. So we've had a lot of different diets over the years. Some of the earliest diets were made by people like Graham, who the Graham cracker is named after, Kellogg's, who made cornflakes, and Post, who just made a ton of Post cereal. So these original diets really advocated people eat like a bunch of corn products or graham crackers all day and not indulge in physical pleasures of the sorts. So now we know that that's pretty much crap, that really isn't what you should do. Diets have changed, and so that got me thinking, well, why have these diets changed? And it's pretty much because we've become more informed. We've become more informed about how our food should grow, how we should eat, what we should eat, and kind of all of these things that go into changing these diets. So that got me thinking even further, well, if we have these diets that have changed, well, what's changing them? And it's information. So this information is what changes these diets. It's what allows us to mold the diet to our goals. And so this got me thinking, what is the next step in the changes of diets? Right now we've kind of learned as much as we can about food, about how the diet utilizes food, or how the body utilizes food, excuse me. And it doesn't really have any more practical implications. But what we do know, and we're learning a lot more about, is how food is grown, how we get our food, and what that does to our bodies. So there's a lot of growing research that I'm really trying to digest right now about how the food we eat is affected by the food it eats, or how the plant that we eat is affected by the ground it's grown in and the water it's grown in. And there's a growing body of research to suggest that it really matters and that our food should be eating the highest quality food that it can get its hands on. Well, get its mouth on. We don't have hands. So the reason I got into Bos Creek was because I really believe that food should eat good food, and that we should supply people with good food. And people like Jeff and Francie, who are like inspiring these wonderful changes, are going to be the spokespeople for good food, for good changes in in lifestyles, and I just want to help support that. So going back to the plan and support and the 3 changes that you need to grow and make a change, I think it all comes down to the lowest level. And I encourage all of you to find out as much information as you can about your food, and to just every day ask yourself one question about, well, where did this food come from? Where did it go? Or what raised it? How did it get to where it was today? And is this the right thing for me? So thank you for coming out, and I really look forward to hitting the lift with all you guys.